guys, welcome to my channel SoilandMagaritas. My name is Roxina and I am so glad that you're here today. This is the first video of 2021 and as you can see I am starting to get my grow corner set up for starting seeds indoors. If you are new here, welcome. I would really love for you to think about subscribing, maybe liking this video. And if you are visiting again, hey, I'm so glad you're here. So this is my second year starting seeds indoors. And last year I had great results with everything that I started indoors. So this year I decided to extend by adding a new shelving unit right behind me. So I am going to talk a little bit about the things that I'm going to be using this year. And as you already know, I mentioned this in most of my videos, I am not an expert in this field. This is not a how to start seeds indoors video type of thing. This is how I am starting my seeds indoors. So hopefully you can get inspired or you can pick up a couple of tips from me so that you can start your own in your own little corner. Both shelves that I have here are the exact same thing. They're the same unit. I found this at Lowe's around the beginning of the year in my local store. I pay $89 for that one and I pay $109 for this one. I believe that one was on sale at the time and I just didn't want to wait until this one was on sale again because I wanted to get everything going, everything started. So they are very deep. And I like that because I am able to fit 4 10 by 20 trays on one shelf entirely, and I have plenty of space. If you check here, I am all the way at the edge over there. I am not going over, I'm right at the edge, and I still have all of this space that I can use. Space is key for me because I don't have a huge room where I can just, put shelf after shelf. This corner right here will have to do for what I need or for what I want. So this is perfect for me. I can just have 16 trays here in one shelving unit, and that gives me plenty of space. Plus, it's supposed to be like a really heavy-duty piece. I like that the shelves have this really hard wire on them because I can see that things are growing underneath the shelves if I need to, and the light just flows very well. Next is the lights that I use. I get asked this question all the time. What kind of lights do you use? What kind of grow lights are they? These are not grow lights. These are regular LED lights that are mostly used for garage or sheds or whatever place that you need some light. These are LED strip lights, which are basically this. I really like this. In my first shelf from last year, I have 3 different types of lighting. I started with a very basic, very affordable Barina set. I'll post the links, all the information below. They were great. I have 2 shelves with those. Then my next purchase was something sort of an upgrade, which were this, and I really enjoy these ones. I feel like they're definitely stronger, but I feel like I really enjoy the color on these better. I get to look at this setup every day. So if I can do something that makes me a little bit happier to look at, I don't know, make it prettier, then I'm all about it. I know, super. So I really like this. Each of the lights that I get come with their own connection. This thing is like long too. You plug it in, and then you have like a turn on and off button. I also like them because if you have one shelf where you have 4 lights, you don't have to plug in 4 lights individually. You can connect. They come with another cable, which are over here on the side, where you can just connect, I believe, up to 4 or 8 lights. I don't know, you have to read the description. But basically, all of the lights that I have here, I have 4 lights on each shelf, and I connect 4 of those lights with their connections that come with. And then those lights, I have timers for those. I prefer the digital timers over your regular, I don't know, push here. I can never understand these guys. So I got a few of these, again, depending on your setup, how you want to do it. I really recommend getting a timer because it is easier to think that every day you're going to get up and you're going to turn on your lights and then at night you're going to turn them off. But if you forget about it, then that really can mess up your seedlings. So get some of those. And as you saw on the video already, I basically went to Home Depot and got me a 1x2, and I cut it to the length of each shelf, which I believe I got about 23 inches there. And the lights come with all kinds of cables if you want to, I don't know, do some kind of wiring to your existing power supply. I don't know, I'm really not really techie, but they also come with this brackets or clamps or clicks. These are supposed to be attached to the wood or the ceiling or wherever it is that you're going to attach these lights, and these clamps just attach nicely here. However, these feel kind of cheap, and a couple of things that happened to me last year were with my initial setup was that I will be watering the seedlings, or I will be moving them, or I will be checking on them, and I bump the strip light a little bit, and then the light itself fell. Not the whole thing, but just the light where it was hooked. Why? Because I think these are just a little bit too cheap. So that's why this year I decided to use these galvanized, I don't know if you can see it, galvanized straps. They're 1 inch. The 1 inch is definitely the right size for this. And I just basically did this. I got 4 lights on a shelf, like I mentioned, and these are going to be perfect for this. Just make sure that as you are screwing these in, that you don't make it too tight. So just be careful, you know, feel as you go, and if it's, you don't want it to be wobbly, but you don't want it to be breaking as well. So just go very slowly and make sure not to break them. Also, in order for me to move the lights up and down, I got these hooks on each side. I got a couple on each side, and I got me some chain. I think that I got one that was like 15 feet long, and I just cut it depending the length of my shelves. You might be thinking, well, why not use grow lights? I mean, why are you using shop lights? And the answer is simple. One, grow lights are way too expensive for me. They are great. If you have the money, go ahead, buy grow lights. However, my intention when I start seeds indoors is only to get them big enough, mature enough to be able to transplant them outside. Basically, I'm getting ahead of the game by having plants already growing to be able to take them outside. It will be really hard for me to get tomatoes or peppers or flowers with these shop lights because they're not meant to be for that. And that's where grow lights come in. That's if you are thinking about having plants indoors for growing fruit or vegetables, if you want to harvest the fruit inside, then that's a great reason to get grow lights. But that's not what I'm doing here. Basically, I just want the plants to get big enough so that I can just get them outside. Like I already say, I'm not an expert, but if you are looking for lights, for LED lights specifically at your local hardware store or whatever it is they sell LED lights, you want to look for a couple of things. One, make sure that the lumens on the light are at least 2500. I believe the Barina ones that I have are 2500, so those are powerful enough to get my plants going. And the lumens are basically telling you how strong the brightness of the light is. The second thing is the Kelvin rating. I'm a photographer, so I deal with Kelvins all the time, so this makes sense to me. Basically, the Kelvins tell you the color of the light. You want to keep a range from daylight or 5000 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. If you find a light that has at least 2500 lumens and it's rated for daylight, then that's a great light for you. But obviously, the higher the lumens, the better, because that light will be stronger for your plants. These lights right here are higher in lumens. I believe they're 5000 lumens, so they're twice the brightness of the ones that I have last year. So I'm happy with these lights. Containers. What am I using this year? Let me show you. 10 by 20 trays. no holes. These are perfect for holding all of your containers where you will have your seedlings growing. And they're great because when you have your little seedlings, you want to make sure that you water from the bottom. So these are great for that. The next thing that I'm going to be using this year are these regular plugs. You can fit 72 in a 10 by 10 in a 10 by 20 tray. So these are great because they can really fit easily in a container, and I used this a lot last year. So one of the things that I know that I like better is that you can find these in a whole sheet where they are all together, but I like to use the singles or the 6 grouping ones so that if I need to move them, they're easier to move. And sometimes these come as a kit. You can find the 1020 tray with the 72 cell. If you want to buy them that way, that's great. If you have smaller amounts of vegetables to grow. If not, you can find sets of 10 by 20 trays or sets of these little guys. This is new for me this year. I got inspired by Casey Lawrence of the Lawrence Network Farm. She uses these almost exclusively, and they're like so tiny. I think they're so cute. Look, can you see the difference? She has a huge garden. She starts a lot of flowers at once. So what she does, she just cuts however many quantities she needs, and then she just puts them all together in one place. So I'm excited about that. Now, when the seedlings have developed their first true set of leaves, or they are definitely, the roots are definitely wanting more space and I am ready to pot them up, I will be using a collection of different things. This is what I used last year and I am reusing them this year. So before you start hating on me for using plastic, I used this last year and they're still dirty. So solo cups, make sure to make drainage holes at the bottom, and we can move from this or this straight from this. Also, I use these guys. And the good thing about this is that they don't really take much space like the solo cups. So if you want to just transfer them like that, you're doing fine. Last year, since I was doing all of this, I realized that throughout the years, I have been throwing away or, recycling a lot of things that I could be using for seed starting. These things, I think that I got either annuals or some sort of small perennial in this container. This is great. It has drainage holes already, and I can basically use this for potting up tomatoes or peppers or any other plant that you have when you are starting your seeds. So keep an eye on those. You can save a lot of money by saving the containers that you're already getting with your plants. The seed starting mix that I'm going to be using for every single thing that I start here in my grow corner is this. I really, really like this. This is not potting mix. This is seed starting mix that you should be starting when you try to get your seeds to germinate. It is organic, and I also like that it is made with coconut core. I don't know. It is made from coconut fiber, so I really like it. It worked great for me last year. I'm definitely going to be using it again this year. The seed starting mix that you use should only be used when you are starting your seeds. Basically, you are trying to get them to germinate. But when you are ready to get your seedlings into a bigger container, you should definitely be using potting mix. Get one that you like, that you normally will use in your outdoor containers for your transplants. This right here is what I'm going to be using for mixing my soil. I found this at Hobby Lobby as well. It's nice and thick, and if I need to move it somewhere, basically goes like this. You can also use a lot of things that you probably already have in your house for starting seeds indoors, especially if you only have a handful of them to use. Let me show you. These are still dirty from last year. I don't know where I found these. I want to say that I found it at Hobby Lobby last year. I can't quite remember. This will be great for a tray. And these two, I believe that I started onions or maybe my dahlias. I can't quite remember what I started here. But these are basically containers where I ordered takeout and they came with soup. They had a plastic lid, I don't need that. Make sure they have drainage holes, and you can basically start anything there or use them for moving your little seedlings into these containers. And there you go, you have that. Also, another great idea for a tray are cookie sheets. I was going to wash this, but I wanted to show you that I really used this last year and they work. This is a perfect way for you to get your seedlings on it. And you probably already have that at home. This right here, I think that I got some vegetables in here. These are little clear containers. You want to make sure that you use drainage holes if you are putting seeds in here so that they don't collect the water. This right here is genius. This is not my idea. I actually picked this up from Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. She starts seeds indoors and she basically saves the containers or the trays where her meat comes from. I got some chicken from here and basically I make sure to clean and disinfect this very well. And you got a couple little trays. She does mainly soil blocks, which I'm also going to be trying this year. So these were great. And because, like I mentioned, I like to keep my space cutesy, I got this from Hobby Lobby. I don't know what these are meant to be for. Maybe they're like food trays, not sure. But these are really heavy duty, so they're gonna go great there. And I picked up, these are iCube trays from Hobby Lobby as well. I don't work there, this is not an ad for them, so before you mention anything, I make sure to make holes, which was a really hard thing to do on these silicone things, but they're cute. So another thing that I would recommend getting is a heat mask. To be honest, I didn't use this a lot last year. My room stays 70 to 75 degrees warm in the winter. I don't like it to be really cold in here, or 65 degrees is cold for me. So I could get away by not using one of these in my room the way that I am doing my seeds. However, if you are starting your seeds in a unheated garage or in your basement where it stays cool, then you definitely are going to need one of these. It really helps your seeds germinate when they have a warm, nice setup going. Now you might be thinking, this is nice and I'm sure it works, but what if I only want to start a handful of plants indoors? This is what you need. I found this last year by Gary from the Rusted Garden. I truly recommend following him if you want to really get into the fine details of starting seeds indoors. He has tons of experience. He has been doing this for a few decades, so he is somebody that you really need to follow. This is a fan light. It doesn't turn or anything. It's basically a bulb. I don't know if you can see it from here. It's an LED light. It can basically be folded in however way you need to bring light to a small corner, to a top of a table, anywhere where you need it, where you just need a little bit of light going. These are very inexpensive. I believe they're under $15 each. Like I said, they are a type of bulb, so you're going to need one of these, I don't know, light clamps, whatever you call them. And they basically attach to it, and you can just plug them in anywhere you need to. So if you have a small area, so you can start your 6 tomatoes with your 6 pepper plants, and these guys can be clamped somewhere where you can figure it out, and there you go. You have your light. So that's it for this video. I hope that you found this helpful. If you haven't, give us a like. And do me a favor, I'm going to be making another video about studying a couple of seeds that I have indoors. But if you have any questions about this setup or anything specific, just let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to answer that in the following video. All right, until the next time, you guys.